peace program at ISKCON Stouffville. We will sing a prayer from the handbook, page number 10. Jai Radha Madhu on this handbook, page number 10. You can follow along. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanajari Yamuna Tira Vanajari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की शील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि ओम. So I think everybody should be doing well because the winter is over and spring and summer is back, right?
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Still in winter, okay. But at least the weather is looking a little bit more, less gloomy, I would want to say, right? So, good. Gloomy or no gloomy, Sunday program is still on. So, that's the good part. So, today we will be reading from chapter 7, text 11. Chapter 7, text 11, 316 on the yellow book. Correct? 316? Okay. So before we start Bhagavad Gita, we will I just want to check if we have the prayers.
Is there an introduction?
Is it?
It's in the Bhagavad Gita introduction.
Bhagavad Gita introduction. Yes. So page number 1 on the Bhagavad Gita. So we will recite these verses before Bhagavad Gita, and you can follow along. We'll all say it together. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayam Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So reading from chapter 7, text 11, page 316 on the yellow book. Balam balavatam chaham Kamaraga vivarjitam Dharma viruddho bhuteshu Kamosmi bharatarshaba. Balam balavatam chaham Kamaraga vivarjitam Dharma viruddho bhuteshu Kamosmi bharatarshaba. Balam balavatam chaham Kamaraga vivarjitam Dharma viruddho bhuteshu Kamosmi bharatarshaba. Anybody would like to?
Balam balavatam chaham Kamaraga vivarjitam Dharma viruddho bhuteshu Kamosmi bharatarshaba.
Balam balavatam chaham Kamaraga vivarjitam Dharma viruddho bhuteshu Kamosmi bharatarshaba.
Balam balavatam chaham
Balam chaham
Kamaraga vivarjitam
Kamaraga vivarjitam
Dharma viruddho bhuteshu
Kamosmi bharatarshaba.
Balam balvatam chaham Kamaraga vivarjitam Dharma viruddho bhuteshu Kamo asmi bharatarshaba.
Balam balavatam chaham Kamaraga vivarjitam
Kamaraga vivarjitam
Dharma viruddho bhuteshu Kamosmi bharatarshaba.
Balam balvatam chaham Kam raga vivarjitam धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु
धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु
कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
बलं बलवतां चाहं
बलं बलवतां चाहं
कामरागाविवर्जितं
कामरागाविवर्जितं
धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु
धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु
कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभा
कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
Balam, strength. Bala, balavatam, of the strong. Cha, and. Aham, I am. Kama, passion. Raga, and attachment. Vivarjitam, devoid of. Dharma aviruddha, not against religious principles.
not against the religious principle.
Bhuteshu, in all beings. Kamaha, sex life. Asmi, I am. Bharatarshava, O Lord of the Bharatas. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principles. O Lord of the Bharatas, Arjuna. Again. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principles. O Lord of the Bharatas, Arjuna. Purport. The strong man's strength should be applied to protect the weak, not for personal aggression. Similarly, sex life according to the religious principles, dharma, should be for the propagation of children, not otherwise. The responsibility of parents is then to make their offsprings Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Okay, the purport is only 4 lines. In the 7th chapter, I think starting from text, I would say text 8 to 11, they speak about Krishna's opulences, in the sense that how one can perceive Krishna. How do we perceive the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So in the previous verses, Krishna is telling Arjuna that when you taste the water, you can perceive me, because taste of water is the one that quenches thirsty man's thirst. And then all the important things in life that we take for granted, like the taste of water, the coolness of the moon, the brightness of the sun, or the heat emanating from the sun, and different things like that. The space that is available here, the smell of the earth, Krishna is saying he is the seed of all existences, and all edible items that we get are all coming from seeds. So like that, Krishna is going on and explaining Arjuna different things. In this verse specifically, Krishna is talking about the strength of the strong. That means he's specifically talking about strength, and he's also talking about sex life or lust or karma, and he's saying that this is also Krishna, this is also you can also perceive Krishna's presence in here. So the question we ask is strength. How can someone, Krishna is saying, Prabhupada is explaining in the translation is saying, Krishna is saying, I am strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. So what does it mean? That the question will come, how is a person who is strong what does it mean to be strong without passion and desire? What does it mean? So Prabhupada in the purport has said in one line that a strong man's strength should be applied to protect the weak and not for personal aggression. So previously, in the previous time, there was very nice, the society was working under the principles of Varnashrama Dharma. So in short, Varnashrama is that, there are these four Varnas, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, and in the upcoming chapters, each of them, it should be first taken out from the mind that, what do you say, like what our education has taught us, that Shudras are like untouchables and not to be seen from or not to be gone near them. To put it in perspective, we are all Shudras only. We are no higher elevation. So we have to take that out from our mind before we discuss the Varnashrama concept. But ideally, in the Varnashrama system, whether it's the politicians or the ruling class is known as Kshatriyas, right? Kshatrayate means that person who is in difficulty. If you free that person from that difficulty, that person is called a Kshatriya. So usually it is the warrior class. So in the olden days, if somebody's coming and attacking your city, or if somebody's coming and attacking you personally, a Kshatriya is your your valuables. Like in the olden days, the Vaishyas or the mercantile class, their primary source of economy is dealing with cows, right? Cows and cattle, and growing from the land and selling those type of items. So if somebody came to attack them, the Vaishyas were not well equipped to fight with a warrior class. They are not trained for that. But the Kshatriyas are trained from their youthhood in these aspects of protecting the citizens of the city, of the country. So Prabhupada is saying that the strong man's strength should be applied to protect the weak and not for personal aggression. So we'll take an example and we will do a case study and comparison, right? So what does it mean to be a strong man, and what does it mean to not use your strength for personal aggression? Because as soon as power comes into your hand, any type of power, in this case it is the strength, the chances of using it for self-benefit or personal benefit is very high. Like suddenly if you get some sort of power, you'd want to use it. There was that story, when growing up, they were giving this example that there's some man got a boon where that whatever he touches would become gold. Whatever he would touch, would become gold. So that because he never had any sort of strength before, suddenly he got the strength, he would touch anything and everything and it became gold. And it seemed that he even touched his daughter, and his daughter also became gold, and there was no life to her left. So power is very dangerous, but power has to be controlled and has to be limited. And the controlling factor is what is said to be as it should be devoid of passion and desire. Then the power will be useful, and if it is controlled, it will work the right way. Sorry. So a classic example which many of you might know is that in Ramayana, if you were to take an example, would you say that Ravana was a powerful person? Is it accepted to say Ravana was a powerful person, was a strong person? He was a powerful person. So if he was a powerful person, was he devoid of passion and desire? How would you say that? Why would you say that his strength is devoid of passion and desire?
He acquired his strength because for the benefit of his personal.
His personal. He acquired his strength. Anything else anything else that clicks and says, no, this person is not devoid of. He's filled with passion. What incident or that you can think of? Yes, Sita Maya's kidnapping. Anything else?
Lusty desires.
He also sent his brother,
Vishnu.
not the Vishnu,
Kubera.
Kubera.
What did he do to him?
He took all his gold and everything.
Yeah, so again, a sign of extreme passion and self-benefit. So if you look at Ravana's strength, Ravana was immensely powerful, and he was blessed by Lord Shiva with various boons that he has his strength. He had 10 heads. He stole the empire from Kubera. Kubera is his own brother, and he stole his originally what we call today Sri Lanka was actually Kubera's residence, So he stole that whole thing from him, and then he established this thing. And the most classic example is the kidnapping of Mother Sita. So this is Ravana on one side. On the other side, we see the strength of Hanuman, right? Hanuman, it is said. So anybody knows, like, if we were to define Hanuman's strength, how would one define it?
He's always helping others. Like he says.
I'm saying, can you tell me his measure of strength? How would you measure his strength? Helping Sita and all, that's okay. But how would you measure his strength? Huh? Sorry, 8 siddhis, okay, that's fine. But if I were to ask, if I were to ask me how strong are you, I can say the maximum strength I have is I can lift 15 kgs in one hand, right?
He is able to fly 100 yojanas.
Okay.
Is that the
Mountain for Lakshmana. So it is said that Hanuman, right? If you were to give a measure of strength, and if I were to compare, so if I can say I can lift 15 kgs, another person will say I can lift 20 kgs. Third person will say whatever you can lift, I can lift the double of you. So that way the comparison goes on. So it is somewhere I've heard also and I've read also that Hanuman's strength is defined as an elephant strength. So there is a 10,000 elephant strength. Regular elephant strength is equal to the strength of an elephant that's called a Diggaj elephant. A Diggaj elephant in Vedic cosmology is that it holds the weight of the Bhumandala. There are 8 Diggaj is the directional elephants, right? We'll not go into those details, but you should understand that these elephants are sitting under the planetary systems and holding the weight of the planetary system. They're balancing it rather, holding. So you can imagine how strong these Diggaj elephants are. 10,000 of such elephants are equal to one Airavata. Airavata is Indra's elephant, right? So you can imagine the power. 10,000 of Airavatas is equal to one Indra. The Indra's power is equal to 10,000 Airavatas' power. 10,000 Indras is nothing but Hanuman's pinky finger strength. 10,000 Indras. So the power of Hanuman is immense, extremely immense. This is just an explanation given in the Shastras so that we can, try to imagine Hanuman's strength. But it is inconceivable. So now the question arises, that how did Hanuman get captured the first time he went across Lanka?
Deliberately.
We all know that past time, right? That how Hanuman got captured by Meghnad, right? So when Hanuman crossed over Lanka, he was looking for Mother Sita primarily, and so many army, the Rakshasas and army folks had come, and then Hanuman destroyed everybody single-handedly. It is said that some people he had smashed them so hard that the head went into the body, and the head only was missing. Some people's limbs were missing, and some of the armies were decimated to ashes. There was no evidence left that this person was even existed. So he had beaten people out of existence. Such a person with this much strength was captured by Meghnad, who was also powerful. We don't say he's not powerful, but he was not powerful as to the extent Hanuman was powerful. Now the question arises, why did Hanuman get captured? So Prabhu said deliberately. Now the reason behind deliberation is, the reason Hanuman was captured is because when Meghnad shot a particular arrow called the Brahmastra weapon. So this Brahmastra weapon has a certain respect in the 3 worlds. It is a very powerful weapon, and anybody and everybody except the Supreme Personality of Godhead usually will cannot come out of this Brahmastra weapon. It is a very powerful weapon and it has its own respect. So Hanuman did not want to disrespect this astra or weapon, and it also, like it says, also belongs to Brahma, and he did not want to disrespect this particular weapon, and therefore he got attacked. This shows with his strength he could have thrashed that thing out, but the presence of mind, the respect that is given, despite with all that power also comes certain amount of responsibility, certain amount of respect that is given to everything around. Not that I'm in an aggressive mood and I will destroy the whole thing. That did not happen with Hanuman. So that is incident number one. Incident number two is that the same Hanuman, he was brought in front of Ravana. We know that Hanuman was excessively powerful. In the Vanaparva of Mahabharata, it is said that there Bhima meets Hanuman in one pastime. There was pastimes, and then eventually they come to have conversation with each other. So Bhima asked this particular question that, I know your strength, you're extremely powerful, and you're my elder brother. You're so powerful. Why is it that you wasted so much time going back and forth? You went in there, you found Sita. Why didn't you just kill Ravana and just brought Sita yourself? Right? The story would have been over. Why this whole building of the bridge and working so hard and crossing and all of that? So Hanuman said, if Hanuman had full capacity to thrash Ravana and take out, but Hanuman said that if I had gone and beaten Ravana, everybody would be singing glories about me and nobody would know the glories of Ram. And importance and knowing the glories of Ram was way, way more important. More important was primordial. It's of high importance for them to know Ram. So that's why I did not touch Ravana, right? You see, this means devoid of passion, devoid of desire, no desire to have name. Oh, me, Hanuman, went over there to Lanka, found Sita, brought back. All these other monkeys were useless. All these other squirrels were useless. Rama himself could not do. I had to do it for Ram. Ram himself was powerless. So that type of mentality was not there. Right? So this is what Prabhupada means, strength devoid of passion and desire. Now even another incident in the same Ramayana says that sometimes you may have extreme power, but despite having everything, you will feel like you have nothing. Has that happened? We have everything. We have every facility at the tip of our fingers. Sometimes they say that, when you're just starting out to work after a student, is like, if you earn more money, then you will be very much, satisfied, very much fulfilled. Then after getting some getting some amount of money, they'll say, if you make more powerful connections in the society and you have a lot of people power, then they'll say that then you will be more content and you will be stable and fixed. Sometimes you will have all of this and many other opulences, still there is a sense of moroseness, right? There will be still sense of I have everything, but I don't have something, and it will come in those lives. And that is what today's clinical psychologists say takes a person towards depression, right? It is not that a person cannot find a resolution to the problem. It is that the person has gone so deep into the problem, is unable to see the problem from 1,000 feet. Sometimes the problem is very minuscule, but we would have been frustrated and broken our heads to such an extent that we cannot see out of that picture. We are surrounded by the problem. Everywhere you turn, you can only see the problem, right? So a similar example is that in Narsimhdev's pastime, there came a point where Prahlad Maharaj, was talking about the Supreme Lord Hari everywhere, Hari everywhere, and his father Hiranyakashipu was like frustrated. Whatever he did to Prahlad, nothing happened. So he was frustrated to the point that whichever nook and corner he turned, he could only think of the Lord, which is actually a good thing. But his intent was very bad. His intent was, how can I destroy this person? This person has caused a ruckus in my life, and I have to be the God. And this person is, invading into my life. Wherever he turned, he could only think of the Lord. But because the only problem was his intent was bad. If he had figured out, okay, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he'll just go surrender to him, his problem would have been solved. But that's not what he did. So similarly, in our life, when we have problems, when we get surrounded by it, we never think to go up above 1,000 feet and see, oh, okay, this is just a minuscule problem and the way to overcome is this, but we just get too deep into it. And the exact same thing happened to Hanuman also. Hanuman had opened every door, checked under every tree, checked behind every house, and he could not find Sita at all. He could not find. He had searched everywhere. He had beaten off 3/4 of Ravana's army, and nobody was even daring to go and search for, go and attack Hanuman. And Hanuman Bhai was himself. He's like, what is this? That person, what's his name? That famous Sampati. On the other side, on the other side of the ocean, this particular vulture who was Jatayu's brother, he had said that yes, there is one lady over there sitting under a tree and she's morose, right? So keeping that as evidence, only Hanuman jumped over the Lanka to find Sita, but he could not find her, right? So he was so morose. He was so morose that he was thinking that, oh, Lord Ramchandra is dependent on me and I have let him down. I used all my power, everything within my power, the strength of my mind, the strength of my arms. I have done everything, and I cannot find her. I cannot find a single woman. What is the point of all of this power? What is the point of all of this mental brilliance that I have? It's useless. It's complete useless. And he was getting morose and morose and morose. And he had come up to a point where Hanuman himself had decided that I should take my life. And how I should take my life? There is the ocean there. Either I should go drown myself in the ocean, or I should set myself on fire, or I should just starve till death, and I should just give up my life, because I do not want to go back to Lord Rama and tell him that I could not find her. I just cannot do that. And on his shoulders, he had put the whole responsibility of Sita for finding himself. He put the whole thing on his shoulders, and he's roaming around, and so much into the problem he's gone. He's forgetting that he had a whole army of soldiers, of his friends and army over there waiting for them to cross Lanka and fight. He was thinking that the entire thing rests upon him, right? And Hanuman had come up to a decision where he decided that he will take up his life. And today we are hearing, actually more so today, we are hearing that many of the, at least the younger generation I know, are going into the same sort of depression. Is it not? Is it not? They are not able to pass a certain exam, or they are not able to clear a certain degree, or they are not able to do well in a particular job, or they are not able to, they have taken the responsibility of taking care of their whole family, and they say everything rests on them, and they're thinking, if I am gone, if I cannot do anything, then what will happen to my family? I cannot be there to see that. So therefore they choose this path. They feel that I have let down whoever is dependent to them, or whoever they admire. Is that not true? Is that not happening everywhere? Right? So under so much pressure that these people feel, Hanuman also felt the same thing. When Hanuman felt this, he just was in this whole mood of depression. Suddenly, like a light bulb, he turned towards the direction of Ayodhya. If this is Lanka, he turned towards the direction of Ayodhya, and just thinking of Lord Ram, the wind that is flowing from Ayodhya down to him, it itself contained Lord Ram. And then it was like Lord Ramchita saying, don't worry, I've got your back, right? That in itself was such a motivational factor that Hanuman stood up, and right in front of him, there was a door that he had not checked. Everything he had checked. Hanuman, see, we had talked about Hanuman. There is a verse that describes Hanuman. For a devotee who thinks of Hanuman, they say, Buddhir balam yasho dhairya nirbhayatvam arogata ajadyam vakpatutvancha hanumat smaranat bhavet. A devotee who just thinks of Hanuman, buddhi, intelligence, balam, strength, buddhir balam yasha, all types of, respect, fame, name, everything will come. Buddhir balam yasho dhairyam, full courage, fearlessness completely. Yasho dhairyam nirbhayatvam, again, no fear at all. Nirbhaya, and no sorts of disease will afflict a person who thinks of Hanuman. And vakpatutvancha, the power of speech will become so nice that a person hearing them will automatically feel attracted to that person, will get pulled to that person just by thinking of Hanuman. And that Hanuman is in this position of depression. If Hanuman can only go into depression, who are me and you? We also will go into this same particular depression. So if we also go into the similar depression, then we also have to follow Hanuman the way he followed. He immediately thought of the Lord and he surrendered to the Lord at that point when he was at his lowest point in his life, right? And immediately the Lord opened his eyes and said, right in front of you, Baba, there is a door which you have not opened. If you have just opened that door, you've seen everything. See, that's the thing in our problems. We attack every door. If we open this door, oh, no solution. This door, no solution. That door, no solution. Okay, in my mind, I had 3 steps. All 3 are gone. Therefore, I am done. Is that true? This is because of our limitation of our intelligence, this is what we think. My intelligence only has this much, and therefore only within this, if it works, it should work within these solutions. If it doesn't work within these solutions, that means there is no solution at all. How a solution comes into our lives, you all have experienced it in different places, right? That you would have never expected it to come from that particular destination, and it would have come and resolved your issue. Similarly, Hanuman has surrendered to Lord Ram, and we have to do the same. Whether we are in a problem or no problem, we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord. In the problem, more so, we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord. Correct? And Hanuman opens the door, and there lies Mother Sita right under the tree. And imagine Hanuman's relief, his happiness. He was beyond joy. He was jumping like a monkey. He is a monkey. He was jumping around like a monkey. I found Mother Sita. I found Mother Sita. Ram will be happy. He was jumping around the whole of Lanka. And he spoke. And then we know he spoke to Mother Sita and everything. And in jubilation with happiness, he sent whole Lanka on fire. Right? That was his happiness. So, and then the pastime proceeds on. So that is one very, I would say, crucial example of strength. We can see Ravana also had strength. Hanuman also had strength. How did this person utilize his strength? And how did this person utilize his strength? And what is the result? Result is, he found Mother Sita, and Ram and Sita became together. Hanuman became the servant of the best of the servants, and his whole life is pleasurable, right? What happened to Ravana? He also had strength. He was decimated towards the end. Why? Because his power was overcome by passion and desire. Whenever we have power, whenever we have strength, we should immediately, forcefully try to be as humble as possible. Humility is not second nature for us. At our condition, humility is never second nature. But we have to forcefully bring it. How do we forcefully bring it? One is of course you try. Another one is you have to surrender to the Lord. And automatically, we will come under control of our power. So that's what Prabhupada means when he says, devoid of passion and desire. So that was the first point of the verse. Second point of the verse, Krishna is saying that I am sex life which is not contrary to the religious principles, O Lord of the Bharatas. So this, in third chapter, okay, so we are discussing chapter 7, text 11 on page number 316 for devotees who have joined a little later. Is that okay? Okay. So this karma that is mentioned here, if you remember in the third chapter, Arjuna says a point where he says, Krishna, I do not want to perform any sinful activities, but I am forced to do. 3.36 Atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichan apivarshnaya baladiva niyojita. So basically Arjuna is saying, I do not want to do sin. I do not want to do anything wrong, but I am forced to do. Somehow I am forced to make that fault. Is that not true? We do not want to do anything bad to anybody, but somehow we want to get our task done. So one lie we'll say here and there, or something we will do to get our task done, right? Is it not true? We do not want to do it, but we know that if we tell the truth, our task will not happen and we will be in some sort of moroseness. So we'll quickly do something that's not legally right, and then we'll get it done. Arjuna is saying the same thing. I do not want to do anything, but I am forced to do it. And Krishna saying, and Arjuna asking, why am I forced to do it? And he says, Kama Yesha, Krodha Yesha, Rajoguna Samudbhavaha. In the translation, Krishna says, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact of material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and that is the enemy, that is your enemy. That same Krishna in the 7th chapter is changing his words.
Sorry, can you tell the page number again?
316.
No, in your
Chapter text, chapter 7, text 11.
Mataji, near 297. 297.
Sorry, no,
So, what do you say? Here, Krishna is saying that I am this lust. So, what is the difference? There has to be a difference. Krishna cannot say one thing in one place and say another thing in another place. He cannot say in 3rd chapter you should not steal, and 7th chapter it says you should steal. Can that happen? Can that happen? No. Then what is the difference? What is it? What is the difference? What is the difference that you see on the upper level, right?
Because Krishna is everything, right?
If Krishna is everything, then why? What is stopping you from stealing? Krishna is also stealing. Krishna also stole butter.
But the lust is like a shadow. You actually go for the original person, not the shadow.
Lust is like a person.
Lust is like a shadow,
Is like a shadow.
and the person is actually Krishna.
You're saying like lust is a perverted version of that.
Perverted version of the. Okay.
So you seek the original version, not the perverted version.
Okay.
The original
Okay.
is love.
All right. But that still you have to answer the question as why is Krishna saying one thing in 3rd chapter? He's saying that this is your enemy. Lust is your enemy. In this verse, he's saying that I am that lust. That means Krishna is the enemy. Correct?
So is it like in the form of Maya, like they kind of try to test or something?
No. Here it doesn't seem like Krishna is not mentioning any Maya because he's directly saying that I am that lust. 3rd chapter is saying lust is your enemy. That means Krishna is equal to lust, Krishna is equal to enemy. Therefore, Krishna is our enemy. And we are praying to the enemy every day. Please put me in your service. And Krishna is putting also in your service. And now you're thinking all my problems because of Krishna, because I'm praying to this fellow every day, he's putting me in the problem. Is that right? Is that the right conclusion?
No, I think you're prefacing it wrongly.
Okay. How so preface it correctly?
So I think he is saying that in the first he's saying lust is your enemy. Here he's saying I am that lust. I am the sex, but use it for the right purpose.
Okay.
Use it for getting your upbringing, bringing your children to this word, and keep it to that extent.
How many of you agree with Prabhu? Only one devotee in the back. Rest all do not agree.
No, I agree.
Hey, you all agree.
Okay, everybody is agreeing. Everybody is agreeing. Okay.
But Prabhu, isn't that Krishna speaking about lust as generally the desire and everything which originates from
In
passion?
the 3rd chapter? In the 3rd chapter.
And here Krishna is specifically speaking about sex,
Life.
right?
Yes.
So if you are actually taking the first as, in lust as from
General view.
general view, from a superficial, well, not superficial, from a high level view, that is when Krishna is saying lust with passion. Now here Krishna is saying out of that lust, sex without, what is that called? Dharma aviruddha. Right?
Aviruddha bhuteshu.
So without passion, maybe passion can be we can actually
Against religious
if you
principles.
say dharma as maybe you can actually connotize passion towards adharma, then we can say then both are speaking the same thing, right?
If you say passion is equal to adharma.
Yes.
Yes.
So then Krishna is saying passion based on lust based on adharma is what we need to avoid. Here I am saying dharmic passion. I represent that.
Okay. So what Prabhu is saying is in the 3rd chapter when Krishna says I am that lust actually over there is defined as desire. Lust here, the same word, kama, Prabhupada has specifically defined that word as sex life. And he's saying that if the sex life is devoid of passion and it is following in the religious principles, that means I am that lust. But in the third chapter, he's saying the opposite, which is if it is not following religious principles, then I am not that lust. That's going to destroy you. Now, lust in a general view is required. We need to have desire. Because if you do not have desire, for example, all these beautiful architectures that you've seen around the world, right? They are out of someone's desire. They had a desire that I want to build this beautiful thing. Now, if that person had built it for his, let's say his wife, right, who he loves so dearly, that becomes passion. But if that same architectural marvel is done to build a temple for the Lord, that automatically becomes what? It becomes for Krishna, and it is good. It's a good lust. It's a good desire to have. Correct?
So
Is that right?
the intention.
It is the intention, exactly. What is your intent? If the intent is to satisfy some basic living being, you don't even have to do that. Like, of course, between the two partners, between the husband and wife primarily, there has to be exchanges of love, no doubt about it. But to do, for example, we'll give you a raw example, right? The Taj Mahal that everybody talks about, right? So the question would come, Prabhu, you're saying that there should be exchanges between husband and wife. What wrong did he do? He just built her a house, call it a house, right? For his wife. What's the harm in that, right? He's just expressing his love. But while the process of that thing was happening, what did he do to those workers? What was the intent? So many atrocious things were happening. If you were to do it in the right way, then it's not a problem, right? It's not a problem. It's a show of love. That's fine. At the same time, many kings during the same era, many what you would say ministers of big kings built beautiful, marvelous stone temples for the Lord in Vrindavan, in Jaipur, in all these various places, southern India. You can Google it and you can see varieties of inscriptions that have taken them years to do, which today, with all the technology, you cannot do. Why? It is the lust is the creative force in man to make him think in a certain way and perform these artistic abilities. So it is required. But if that goes against the principles of dharma, then that is just going to destroy you. And that is what Krishna is saying. If it is according to principles, then it's me. Now, we'll come to this particular example, what Prabhupada is saying here.
Sorry, can I ask one question?
Yes, yes.
What are those principles? Like, I'm still like.
Yes,
I know you gave examples.
Mhm.
Like, but then probably one of the examples, like on the worst side, is like there was atrocity on the laborers.
Right.
How you are using the resources.
Right. Definitely.
Whether with
If
humility or politeness.
yeah,
that would be
if
one
I
of
want to do something for my loved one, I can't snatch it from another person and give it to her and say, oh, I am doing this. So that means you're destroying somewhere else. That is not according to principle. You work hard, you earn whatever you have, and within that scope, you do whatever it is. That is fine. That's a good exchange of love.
like you're building house, like you're building or buying property for your family, but with the right, like it's not religious. It's not for religious purpose. It's
Doesn't
for
have to
human
be.
being.
Right.
So I'm saying like we do generally, right? Exchanges between husband and wife, like we buy property or something for consumption for our family, but it's not religious.
Right.
So
It doesn't always have to be. See, one thing is when we say religious, when you buy a house, automatically the Lord also is going to be seated in the house also, correct? So that is not a problem. But what I'm saying is how you have done this particular act, right? Is it like, have you done something that is not supposed to be done? We know we don't have to define what is to do and what is not to do. I think we have that inbuilt nature in us already, right? We know, we can see what is right and wrong, at least from 1,000 feet high, if not the nitty-gritties, correct? So that is fine. That's not the problem. But when you know that you have sabotaged somebody or something and then you've got it, then you know it's an ill-gained. For example, Ravana, his kingdom Lanka he snatched it from his brother for his self-benefit and for giving it to all his wives and having enjoyment moment. But what happened? It got decimated in the end. Anyways, coming to this point, Prabhupada is saying that this act between husband and wife should be only performed for having propagation of children, not otherwise, right? So Prabhupada is saying, and the same point Arjuna also said in chapter 1.40, that Krishna, that if I fight this war, many people will die. And if many people will die, the women will be left widows. And if the women are left widows, then these whoever left men are there, they will take undue advantage, and then we'll have unwanted population. When we have unwanted population, they will not follow any good rules and regulations and traditions. They will not offer oblations to the ancestors because they haven't learnt it, because all of this illegal and illegitimate mixing is what is causing these illegitimate children, and they will not offer anything to the ancestors. Automatically all sorts of bad things will happen to us. And when all sorts of bad things are happening to us, where is the question of searching the actual goal of life? There is no goal of life. You will be just roaming around, right? Now, what Arjuna was thinking, is that not what's happening in today's world? People don't know what they're doing. Anybody is doing everything. All types of, what you would not have heard 30, 40 years back. When you would have closed your ears. Today you have to think that it's normal. Is it not? Am I saying the right thing or wrong thing? Yes. Right? Like if you, sorry? Israel, whether it's Israel and Palestine, or whether even in Canada also, right? Like now you can't even say against it. If you say something against it, and if somebody is recording a video, they will come and catch me, right? Why are you saying things like this, right? Like now even same gender marriages are considered a norm. You have to accept it. You say anything against it, you're considered, oh, you're taking away my free rights, your free will, and all of that. So many things there are that have been so normalized. If you look at our grandfather's generation, there was no question of this, that word, what living is it called? Living together, is that? No, living together, we are also living together. Live in relationship, there you go. Live in relationship. I had to Google live in relationship because I was not up to the standards, right? So live in relationship basically means you're living out of wedlock, and you will live with the person. After some time, if you feel that, oh, we are not gelling together, we split apart. So why they're doing this? Because after marriage, if something happens, then you have to split your property, right? And people don't want to give away their property. At the same time, they also, so there's no question. Prabhupada is saying that in our tradition, in our Bharatiya Samskriti that we call, the question of divorce doesn't exist only. But the politicians of Prabhupada's time had brought that, when during Prabhupada's time only, they had brought this whole divorce law and all of this sort of stuff. So Prabhupada said, you like it or you break it. Under the blessings of the elders and the gods you've got married, it should be done. Anyways, that's a separate topic, but that is the cause of all sorts of Varna Sankara unwanted progenies. Prabhupada is saying, even though you're married legally, if you do not follow the principles laid down to procreate or to make a child, that is also called unwanted. Prabhupada says those are also illegitimate children. In Prabhupada's language, illegitimate children. So what does it mean? So in the World Health Organization has defined family planning as, I had it written, I'll read the verbatim, right? World Health Organization defines family planning as, quote, voluntary planning which involves various measures to be taken by a couple to prevent or delay the pregnancy. These measures are broadly classified as contraception, abortion, and sterilization. The concept of today's day is the population is growing. We don't have anything to feed anybody. How are we going to do it? So you guys enjoy yourselves, but make sure you don't have children. This is against, and very much against, the religious principles. Now, the question is on the other side, oh, but the population will increase. What will you do about that? There are thousands and thousands of elephants, birds, worms. You don't even know those creatures existing. Who is providing? You're providing. The Lord is providing, isn't it? Lord is providing to everyone. If the Lord can provide, we are what? What is today's population in the world? Human being population? 6 billion?
8 billion.
8 billion. 8 billion?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What about the creatures? What about the creatures? How many underwater animals are living in the ocean? Huh? 100 billion. Add all the elephants, tigers, cheetahs, hyenas. There is apparently something called water hyena, mountain lion. This that we've never heard of all. If you add all of them, they're at least 10 times the population of human beings. Are we going every day with a bowl of milk and giving you drink, you drink, you drink? You giving them bread? No, they're finding their thing, they're eating. The Lord is providing. Is it not? So then Prabhupada's question is, if the Lord is providing everything, then why are you worried about overpopulation? There is no question of overpopulation, right? If 6-8 billion population that we have, if all of them had procreated according to religious principles, and if all of them had children according to religious principles, there is no question of this Israel-Palestine or this India-Pakistan or this Ukraine and Russia. This question only would have not arisen. There's no problem only. Everybody would live peacefully. Okay, you don't have bread? Here, take bread. You don't have milk? Okay, here, take it. Oh, I don't have it? Okay, he will give it. Everybody will live in a harmonious way, right? Nobody will fight for 1 inch of land. Today, people are fighting. In India, only people are fighting for, oh, you have taken 10 feet of my land. What are you going to do in 10 feet? What will you build in 10 feet, Baba? Right? You've taken 6 feet of my land. You can't even sleep in 6 feet. If you turn also, you can't do anything. But he still wants at 6 feet. Why? Because he can put a compound all over there. That's all. And for that, they will go to court, they will fight, and this is what is called unwanted population. Right? So then what is wanted population? So in short, the Vedic planning system says that every husband and wife should follow a particular system called Garbhadhana Samskara. There are Shodasha Samskara, 16 samskaras that is mentioned for every human being. So Prabhupada clearly says the samskaras are meant for human beings, not animals, right? Garbhadhana Samskara, in very brief, it's a very detailed science, and it is a very interesting science, right? Today, when in the Western countries, they talk about this thing, right? For children, what is that famous thing that they do, which parents are against always? No.
Sex, gender.
No, sex education, right? Many of the parents are not very comfortable that the children learn about this and all of that. But at the same time, there is a population that, yes, we do need to know, because they need to be educated against this. Our Shastras, since time immemorial, has already set this in motion, right? And they have said that a husband and wife, when they have to have children, it has to be done out of a planned decision. And the decision is not that, oh, I planned and I did it. There is a whole 1 year process about how you plan. Everything is given to the pinpointed. What day you plan, what hour you plan, what you have to eat, what you should not eat, what you should abstain from, how you should pray, what vrata to do, what not to do, how you should keep your mind. And the subject becomes so interesting that it takes out all the pervertness out of that subject and becomes a spiritual science, right? When two people are getting together to procreate, it is the impression of the father or the impression of the male counterpart that is being sent into the female counterpart, and that impression forms the impression of the child. So if you are completely in an unsober state, you do something like that, unsoberness flows into the child, and now you're wondering why the child is behaving like this. Because you are like that. That's why the child is behaving like that. Now automatically a question will arise. Now we will obviously, when you hear logic like this, then our extreme material brains also work in another way. Then how did Hiranyakashipu get such a great child like Prahlad? He was the demon of demons. I am not as bad as him. I have not conquered somebody. Is that true? How many have that question? Nobody has that question? I am the only one? We have that question. Nobody else has that. Really? Okay. So why?
We believe in karma.
You believe in karma. So that means I will do whatever I want to do. Karma is good, I'll get good. Karma is bad, I'll get bad. We wash our hands with karma and close it. Is that right?
No.
I will go and write the exam. I will not study. If good karma is there, the blind teacher will close his eyes and give me 100. Bad karma is there, I'm doomed. Is that how it works?
No, nishkama karma.
Nishkama karma. I will not desire anything, but I will not study also anything. I'll still close my eyes and write my name and come.
But you have to do your duty, right?
Karmanyevadikara.
You have to do your duty. That duty is principles. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachina. Duty you have to do. My question is, why Hiranyakashipu got a son like Prahlad?
Maybe he was good that time. He was knowledgeable.
He was knowledgeable. He was knowledgeable. He was knowledgeable. No doubt that Hiranyakashipu or Ravana or anybody of these were not knowledgeable, extremely knowledgeable. The answer is simple.
I think I heard that.
Yes.
There is no Prahlad, then Hiranyakashipu won't go back to Krishna.
Yeah, that is true, but that is not the reason. The reason has to, Krishna will not do something like, yeah, I said something like that here, but I'll do something else there also. Like there will be a train of thought, right? So in this particular story, in brief, what happens is that Hiranyakashipu goes outside to do tapasya, and he wants to do like a severe penance to please the gods and to get some boon. But there, one bird will be there. One parrot will come and it will keep saying Hari, 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 Hari. And then, because he doesn't like Hari, he doesn't like the Lord, that Hari name is breaking his meditation. So he said, to hell with this meditation, this stupid bird has destroyed everything for me. So he will come back. He'll come back home. And it so happens that the time is ripe for, for conception. And during the time of union, in his mind, there is this Hari thing always rotating, that this Hari has always, so in his mind throughout he's saying Hari, 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 because he's thinking about, wantedly or unwantedly, because his mind was on the name of the Lord, that same impression fall into the womb of Kayadu, his wife, and therefore Prahlad Maharaj was born. Prahlad Maharaj was born, it was destined to be born, but Krishna makes sure that when his devotees coming, whatever words he has said, all the principles are followed cent%. Right? Many examples are there like that, right? Two wives of the same husband, right? Kashyapa Muni had two wives, Diti and Aditi. Aditi, she asked for, I want to have a very good child. She had some distresses and she asked her husband that I want to have a very, a good child, can you please, show some mercy on me. So Kashyapa Muni said, okay, and Kashyapa Muni did not say, okay lady, okay, we want to have a child, come on, let's do it. No, not like that. He was like, it's a plan. You have to follow this vrata for this many months. You should drink milk, you should fast, you should pray to the Lord. You should, if sadhus are coming home, you should, take their blessings, serve them. So many things he told her. And then, he did it and she did it. And who came in the house? Who came home? Who was Aditi's son? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vamana only came. Vamana only came home. The Lord said, I will only come. Right? Because she said, when the Lord appeared to her, she asked, my dear Lord, I want a child like you. The Lord said, there is nobody like me. I will only come. So the Lord came. Correct? Of course, we, in our state of mind, a Lord will not show up right at our doorstep. But the idea is, we need to create population in such a way that they are all naturally Krishna conscious. Right? The affinity to Krishna conscious, God conscious should be automatic for the upcoming population, and for that it is the parents' responsibility. So what we try to do after the child is born, we should do before the child is born. That is the concept of Vedic planning. Today's planning is that child is born, okay, first 3 years let them, break the wall and everything. 4th year you send them to play school, 5th year kindergarten. My what's her name? My niece, my elder niece, they are taking interview for the parents to see how good the parents are so that the child can get admission in school. Is anybody facing that? Or somebody saying yes? Yeah, they're taking, even these schools also, they have some knowledge of Vedic plan. They're looking, if parents are good, automatically the child must be good. So therefore we can accept this child. You see? So even they are getting half. So therefore, in our process should be such a way that, fine, Prabhu, what's the point of telling us? I should have probably told you some 20, 30 years back. What's the use of this thing for us? Right? It doesn't matter. You can still propagate to other people. Now that we know, at least we can surrender to the Lord, just like Hanuman surrendered. Right? Like that surrenderance to the Lord is also there. Correct? So that is what Srila Prabhupada means. That is what Krishna means. That lust, or this particular procreation of this particular act done for the procreation of children only, that too with the adherence of religious principles, is the only thing that is accepted, and it's the only thing that is called correct. Otherwise, Prabhupada says everybody else is illegitimate.
Krishna is saying that's me.
Krishna is saying that's me. If you ever wonder the question, actually that was the point I wanted to conclude. If you ever think the question, how can Krishna be lust according to this? This is Krishna. If you follow this whole path, if a husband and wife are following this whole path for 1 year, praying, penance, doing all sorts of austerities, just for having that one, and if both of them are focused in their spiritual life, not that they should give up their material life, but focused in their spiritual life with one intention, that, my dear Lord, kindly bless us with a child. You can get that child, without even doing all of this. But my dear Lord, please bless me with a child that will come, will serve you, will serve the devotees at large, will not be a nuisance to the community, but will actually help the community, develop the community, and develop people around everybody, and also that will give happiness to us. If you do with that, that is Krishna. Krishna says, this whole process, this act, I become there automatically.
So is that right to think that when the couple are planning all these things,
yes,
Krishna is actually searching the souls? Which soul is going to come in that body? That's why it's
actually
Krishna?
I know we don't have time, but I'll still take 2 minutes. Is that okay? Yeah. There is a science there also, which we didn't expand. In the 3rd chapter, there is a cycle. They say that, I'm forgetting that verse. What is that? Annad bhavati parjanyo parjanyat anna sambhava. The grains, the rain is in the cloud, right? And then human beings require grains to subsist on. And how does the rains come? The rains come because we do yagya, whatever yagya, and that yagya goes up and comes. So this is a cycle that happens. So now you might ask, what yagya we're performing? We're performing Harinam yagya, we're chanting the holy name. So we'll not go into that topic. But it is said that the rains that are there are souls in the clouds. The Upanishad says that there are souls in the clouds waiting to be taken, taking birth. Now you might ask how the souls will come. The souls will come in the form of rain. They will go into the earth and they will come out as grains. Grains will be eaten by the male counterpart, which forms what we call in the biological world as a sperm. That goes into that is the one that you place in the womb of the mother, in the Mataji, and then eventually that becomes the child. Bhagavatam says, everybody from Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, it's a verse in the 11th canto, that they all want to take birth in Kali Yuga. All the great souls, they want to take birth in Kali Yuga because they know in Kali Yuga it is easy to get Krishna consciousness and go home back to Godhead. But they don't want to be born in some random place. They want to be born in a place where Krishna consciousness is being happening. Where Prabhupada, our spiritual master Prabhupada, he was born in family of Gaur Mohan De, who for generations together were very great devotees of the Lord. Right? His spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has only come because his father Bhaktivinoda Thakur went to Bimla Devi temple in Jagannath Puri, and he cried out to the deity over there and said that, I need a devotee who is going to propagate the spiritual this path of spirituality. I need it. If you're going to give me a child, I want a child that is good. And there comes Bimal Prasad. His name was Bimal Prasad previous to his thing. So there are lots and lots of great devotees from the previous yugas who want to come. It might, all this might look like, what sort of illusory things are you saying? Shastra is saying this. It is there. The methodology is there. You can see, you may not be able to see it tangibly, but if you are trusting Krishna's word, then all of this will come intact, right? So there are actually devotees are having 2-3 hour seminar, 3 day seminars on how just to plan this whole Garbhadhana Samskara. It is astrological calculation, which if you belong to a particular nakshatra and if the woman is belong to a particular nakshatra, you need to figure out which is the particular day, which is the particular time you're supposed to, which are bad days to do, which are good days to do, right? And if you actually go through that calendar, you will not find too many days in a year. You'll probably find 1 or 2 days in a year. And if you miss that, then you go to the next year. But this whole process will make you so spiritually apprehensive that that the pervertness is removed out of it and it will become Krishna conscious, and that is where you see Krishna in here, Krishna's hand in here. So I want to end this. I'm sorry I took over 5 minutes, but thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
We can read more about it. I'm interested, like the topics we cover.
Yeah,
every
so
Sunday.
there is a book called Garbhadhana Samskara written by Bharat Chandra Prabhu. I can share a link with you. That whole book just deals with that. It's a small book. It's not too big, but if you read, and it's a very interesting read. If you read it, you will be able to.
Like I was just thinking if we can also discuss like where we can read it further. For example, whatever topics we are covering, you give a lot of examples which I don't find in Bhagavad Gita, right? So if we can expand our knowledge by going back, reading the same topic, keep the stuff refresh in our mind by reading more
Okay,
about it.
okay.
Something like that, like.
In short, the example of Hanuman and Ram, that is from Ramayana. That is from there only. I just took it. Actually heard different devotees giving classes on it in comparison. That was from there. This what I talked is from this book only. It's from this book. Yeah. We can talk offline about that.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.